Chapter 3557. When he heard Charlie's order, Joseph immediately said in a loud voice, "Mr. Wade, don't worry, the subordinates will immediately arrange." Charlie nodded and sneered. They think that the Wade family is finished and want to clear the matter with the Wade family. Then if the Wade family asks them to come, they definitely won't come, but if the Cataclysmic Front asks them to come, I believe they definitely won't dare to act rudely. Leon asked, "Young master, what about after they come? As you said, let them kneel and go up to Waderest Mountain to repent. It's impossible to spare them so simply." Charlie waved his hand and spoke, "Later today, the outside world will receive news that the Wade family has lost and accepted the harsh conditions of the Cataclysmic Front. So when the time comes, the Cataclysmic Front will directly ask them to take out half of their family fortune as well. I believe they dare not refuse to give." Jonquan's eyebrows raised, exclaimed, "Charlie, you are going to drink their blood, eat their flesh, ah." Charlie said expressionlessly, "I am going to drink their blood and eat their flesh, but not by myself, but via the Cataclysmic Front." Saying that, Charlie said, "After the Cataclysmic Front gets their assets, through the channels of offshore companies, the money will be backhanded again to the Wade family. It just so happens that I want to do ocean shipping. If we get some money from them, I will use it to buy a few dozen more cargo ships. For the gang to take out a 200 or 300 billion should still not be a problem. He spared the death of the Cataclysmic Front. The front under Joseph's command will do the dirty work for him. Have to admit that the deterrent effect of the Cataclysmic Front is still very strong. Other than that, Joseph, yesterday put forward so many harsh conditions via Harmon, including half of the family property, the entire Waderest Mountain have to be given up, but also have to wear mourning clothes, and kneeling. However, Andrew, Changyan, a bunch of cowardly and incompetent rats, did not one by one rush to agree. Now, let Cataclysmic Front asks the remaining Wade family the same demand, they probably also dare not disobey." Jonquan hesitated for a moment with a complicated expression, but quickly figured it out and said, "Okay. You just let go and do it. This bunch of ungrateful things, most of them rely on the Wade family support to have today's scale, but the Wade family is in trouble, they all run so fast, let them pay a price, this is what they deserve." On the side of Jonathan's expression is very nervous, he spoke, "Charlie. My son and grandson, I asked them to leave, I am old, I was ready to die with my elder brother to meet the ancestors. But they are still young, I really could not bear them to stay and risk their lives, so also please look at the fact that I did not run, deal with them with a high hand." Charlie nodded and said seriously, "The second grandfather could stay, it is indeed touching, as you wish, your family's side, I will not pursue it." Saying that, Charlie said with a cold expression, "But except for the second grandfather's family, no one else can be exempted." Jonathan was completely relieved and wiped his sweat while saying, "Charlie, thank you so much." Chapter 3558. At this point, Charlie waved his hand, and said to Joseph, "Joseph, I have to go to Scandinavia tonight, tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock will certainly not be able to rush back, then you will play a one-man show for them at the bottom of Waderest Mountain. First let them one by one willingly take out half of their assets to Cataclysmic Front, if the money is given, do not let them go still, let them continue to kneel, until I return." Joseph arched his hand and said, "Mr. Wade, do not worry, your subordinates will do it." After saying that, he hurriedly asked, "Mr. Wade, I know more about the situation in Europe and the United States, do you want me to accompany you when you go to Northern Europe this time?" Charlie waved his hand, "No need, you still have parents who need to be buried, tomorrow let the Wade family's foreign relatives kneel honestly, you take care of the burial of your parents." Joseph respectfully said, "Your subordinate obeys orders." Charlie nodded slightly. "Good, then all the matters of the Wade family's foreign relatives will be left to you." After saying that, he looked at Jonquan and said lightly, "Grandpa, this time for the ancestor worship ceremony, let's save all those tedious and pompous processes. If the heart is not sincere, what is the point of making the ceremony as grand and magnificent as possible?" Jonquan nodded and agreed. "You are right, ancestor worship is not in the spectacle, but in the piety, before all the people to organize the ancestor worship, but in the event of some danger, most people turned around and sold the old ancestors. The old ancestors now know, I do not know how angry they'd be, and what's the point of all the pomp and circumstance now?" Kneeling Wade family members, one by one, ashamed, did not dare to raise their heads. Charlie ignored them and walked to the front of the ancestral graves of the Wade family, kneeling on both knees, looking at the hundreds of Wade ancestors and the tombs of Charlie's parents, and said in a loud voice, "The ancestors of the Wade family above, the unworthy grandson Charlie, who has been wandering in the past 20 years, has not been able to come to pay respect to the ancestors. I hope the ancestors forgive me." After a pause, he added, "Today is a new beginning for the Wade family in the midst of a crisis." The unworthy grandson Charlie also officially returned to the Wade family today and took over the position of Wade family head. "Here, I promise to the ancestors of the family. From today onwards, no one will be allowed to infringe upon the interests of the Wade family. And no one will be allowed to desecrate the ancestors of the Wade family. All of us in the family must act in the highest interest of the family. Your unworthy grandson, Charlie Wade, makes a vow before all the ancestors today. I will do my best to make the Wade family the number one family in the world and stand on top of the world with your name." After saying that, Charlie bent down and faced the ancestors of the Wade family and bowed 3 times respectfully. Jonquan also came to Charlie's side, kneeled on the ground, faced the ancestor's tomb, and spoke, "Wade family ancestor above, today my Wade family wanderer, Charlie, has finally returned. From today onwards, there is no longer any direct bloodline of my Wade family left outside, all direct bloodlines are finally together. I have also fulfilled the promise I made to the ancestors at the last ancestral ceremony." Saying this, Jonquan added, "Charlie's return to the Wade family today and his succession as the head of the Wade family, I can finally give you two a satisfactory explanation. Changying. Today, your son turned the whole Wade family into safe heaven. In the future, he will definitely be able to lead the family to create glory again. I believe that you and your wife must be very relieved on the other side." Charlie stood up at this moment and went directly to his parents' spirit, kneeling on the ground and looking at the words Changying Wade and Marguerite and on the tombstone, his eyes were already filled with tears. He softly murmured, "Dad, Mom, your son is finally able to come back to see you two openly." When the Wade family heard this, their hearts could not help but be a little surprised. They were not quite sure what Charlie meant by this. Could it be that he had come here before? At this time, Charlie did not care about the Wade family's surprise. He looked at the tombstone and the young photo of his parents on it. With a firm expression he said, "Dad, Mom, from now on, I will inherit Dad's legacy, leading the Wade family to the top of the world. At the same time, I will also find your murderers, no matter who they are, no matter what their abilities and backgrounds are, I will kill them with my own hands to avenge your blood. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel for new updates. Thank you very much, keep safe everyone and God bless you all."